channel. My name is Christine, and today we're going to be doing the blush tag. So I wanted to start incorporating a little bit more makeup to my channel. I am still very new to makeup. I only really started collecting makeup or using makeup about a year ago because I have very sensitive skin and I also have eczema. So that's always limited me on the makeup that I could use or couldn't use. So one of the things you may notice during this tag is that a lot of the products that I do have are a little bit on the higher end. It's not that I don't try drugstore products, is that typically drugstore products or a lot of drugstore brands break me out, and higher end products don't, and I'm not sure if it has anything to do with the quality of the materials being put into these products. But I did want to point that out because that is one thing that I have noticed in my collection, is that with cheap products in particular, I do tend to have more mid to high end products than I do drugstore. But that does not mean that I don't use drugstore products. I love drugstore products, but I am going to try and include as many swatches as I can during this video. I am going to be including all of the questions down below in the comment section, so if any of you want to do the blush tag with me, feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section with a link to your video, and I'll be sure to take a look at it and subscribe to your channel and give your video a thumbs up, because I'm a pretty new YouTuber and I do like supporting other YouTubers. So without further ado, let's get started. I have all of the questions right here ready to go. Please excuse if I look down. My viewfinder is right down here. So the first question is best packaging. And for those of you that know me, know that I am absolutely obsessed with Hello Kitty. So of course I had to mention the MAC blush, the Hello Kitty MAC blush, and simply because I absolutely love Hello Kitty, I had to mention this because it's a Hello Kitty blush. I not only like the packaging, but I also like that it's also embossed with Hello Kitty. This color is in Pretty Baby. This was a limited edition blush. Technically, this is a beauty powder. It shows up pretty light on my skin. I really only got it for the packaging, but there's a swatch of it right there. As you can see, it's a pretty light blush, but I had to get it for the packaging. But in general, I think MAC has the best packaging. They have really gorgeous packaging, especially with their limited edition collection, like this one and this one. Like, I think overall MAC just has the best packaging. But apart from MAC and their limited edition packaging, and really I only think their limited edition packaging is gorgeous, because the regular MAC packaging is just a plain black packaging like this. So I'm specifically talking about their limited edition packaging. But the second brand I wanted to mention is for best packaging is Kat Von D. I love black packaging, so that is why I love it. And then the roses are also textured. And this blush is in the shade Por Vida, and it's a perfect springtime blush. It's very pigmented. So that's the swatch right there. It's Por Vida. I absolutely love this blush, but again, I think Kat Von D has one of the best packaging, and in particular this retro style one. So the next question is prettiest color, and I have two blushes that fit this category. They're both dupes for each other, and they're dupes for Nars Orgasm. So essentially it's this like shimmery peachy color. This is the Balm's Hot Mama and Milani's Luminoso. That's them right there. So this is the Balm's Hot Mama, and this is Milani's Luminoso. They're like a peachy pink with a little bit of kind of like a gold shimmer throughout it. Hot Mama is showing up a little more pink than Milani's Luminoso, But on the cheek, they show up pretty much about the same, at least on my skin tone they do. But I absolutely think that this is the prettiest color, especially for the summertime. So the most pigmented, the third question is the most pigmented, and I think hands down the most pigmented blushes I've ever come across are the Balm's Instain blushes. This one is in Lace, and it's this hot pink blush. But you just need to like barely touch it for it to show up on your skin. It is so intensely pigmented that you barely need to tap this blush for it to show up on your skin. It is intensely pigmented, and you have to be very, very careful when applying this. You barely have to tap it with your brush. Number 4 is Everyday Blush, and this goes to Cargo's Tonga, and it, in my opinion, is the perfect everyday, like, pinky, it's like a cool tone pinky mauve kind of color. It may not show up on camera, and it doesn't look much when it's swatched, but in my opinion, this is like the perfect everyday flush of color. I've actually used it a ton, and you can't really tell, but this to me is the perfect everyday blush. So the next 2 questions to me are kind of interchangeable. A product I regret purchasing and my least used blush. Both of these I regret kind of purchasing, and they're my least used blushes. So the first one is the Maybelline Master Highlight by Face Studio. It's the highlighting bronzer in the color Light Bronze. And this essentially just shows up as like shimmer. Like it's more of a highlighter than it is a blush. So for that reason, this is the blush that I regret using / least used blush. And the other one, unfortunately, is the Balm Cindy Lou-Manizer. Now this, again, is a very shimmery and not pigmented blush topper or highlighter. It barely shows up on my skin. This is less glittery than the Maybelline Master Highlight. This actually shows up as like a light peachy sheen on my cheek. I use this a little bit more than the Maybelline Master Highlight, but again, like it's more of a highlight and not really a blush in my opinion. So the next question is my most used blush, and this has to go to the Too Faced Love Flush Long Lasting 16-Hour Blush in Baby Love. Now, I absolutely love this blush. It's a gorgeous everyday color. It's almost like a bronzy blush, so you can get away with using this as a blush / bronzer, which is one of the things I absolutely love about this blush is that it's a 2-in-1 type of product for me. But not only that, this lasts a long time on my skin, which is something that I do appreciate. Like sometimes I'm on campus for 8 to 10 hours, and this blush, when I apply it really early in the morning, and by the end of the night, like it's still on my cheeks. So I really wouldn't know if it lasts 16 hours, but I'd say it's pretty darn close, at least on my skin tone. And I have really oily skin, which tends to eat blush up. But for some reason, this formula, it lasts forever on my skin. But this color in particular, like if I had to pick one, this would be the one color. So my favorite brand, I actually have 2 favorite brands. The first one is MAC. I absolutely love MAC blushes. They have so many colors. So there's a color for every skin tone, and they're so easy to apply, so easy to work with. They're not like super pigmented where I don't have to be careful, like extremely careful with them, but at the same time they're pigmented enough where I'm not finding myself like constantly applying or reapplying blush for it to even show up on my skin. And then the Balm. So I love the Balm Instain blushes, and I love, I don't know, this is, oh God, I don't know what these are called. It's like they have like the Frat Boy, like Cabana Boy and Down Boy. Like I love their I guess it's the boy collection. I honestly don't know what the collection is called. But I absolutely love the Balm blushes. But I have to be careful with them because they are really pigmented. Greatest discovery of the year, I'm going to give it to Clinique Cheek Pops. I discovered this in the beginning of 2016. I know I'm a little late on the Cheek Pop bandwagon, but I really do like these blushes. This one is in Nude Pop. It's really similar to the color, that's it right there. It's really similar to the color Baby Love, but these are really, really nice. I can't really say that it's my favorite brand, but by far it's my favorite blush discovery of the year. This is slowly creeping up to the Balm and MAC status for me when it comes to blushes. They're really easy to work with. They're really pigmented. They last a long time. So right now I have two other colors. I have Berry Pop and Melon Pop. And I actually found these at a CCO, but they're still available. You can still get them at Ulta or somewhere that sells Clinique. I just so happened to find these at a CCO, and of course I'm going to buy it at a CCO. Okay, so the next question is most practical, and I'm going to kind of split this question up into two. The first kind of answer to this question for most practical blush are any blush that comes in a palette. So I have like the e.l.f. palette right here. I really like the e.l.f. palette because you can pop these blushes out. They have like two palettes, and you can pop the blushes out and kind of switch the colors up in the between the two palettes, or they have like contour palettes or highlighting palettes, and you can do the same thing. You can kind of like mix and match and customize your own palette. And it's extremely convenient when you're traveling to have either multiple colors or to have multiple products in just one palette. Another good palette is the Stila Get Cheeky palette, and this was part of their holiday collection, and it has a blush, a bronzer, and a highlighter. Again, you know, the convenience of having multiple products in a palette. And my favorite blush palette, the Nars blush palette, and any Nars blush palette will do. This is the one I have specifically, and again, it has multiple blushes, a bronzer, and a highlighter. I felt like using a blush palette as an answer was kind of cheating a little bit. So for that reason, I have another blush to talk about when it comes to most practical. And I would say these Tarte blushes, in my opinion, are the most practical. I actually depotted all of my Tarte blushes into a Z palette. You can pop them out really, really easily, and the pans come magnetized. So all you have to do is on the back of the packaging, there's a little hole, and you can use a bobby pin, you can use a needle, you can use any. I think I used a dotting tool, and you just push through the hole. It'll just pop the pan out. So I'm just gonna show you, like, you just push through the hole and it'll pop the pan out. But you don't have, like, it doesn't completely destroy the packaging. There's still a magnet in here. So, you know, I put it in this big Z palette, but if I want to just take this one blush to go and I don't want to take my entire Z palette, I can just, you know, pop the pan back in whenever I need to, and it comes with a decent sized mirror. So for that reason, I think Tarte blushes really are the most practical blush because you can choose to use them or carry them in whatever packaging best fits your needs, whether it's a Z palette or just like a single compact. Okay, so now moving on to the least practical packaging, and for this one again, I also have two blushes that I want to talk about. The first one is the Too Faced Sweetheart Perfect Flush Blush, and the reason to me this is least practical is because although the packaging is absolutely adorable, it is so huge and bulky that I have trouble fitting this in my organizers. And because I have to it awkwardly fits in my collection, I don't use it as much. And then the second blush I want to talk about are Benefit's box blushes. This is in Hervana. And these fit a little bit better in my organizers, but it's just such an awkward packaging. Like, even if you got rid of the little brush, which I mean, I always like keeping these little things even though they're completely pointless. It's just an awkward blush, and I've tried depotting this, and it just I don't know. I find myself not using this blush because the packaging is so awkward and just not practical. So my most expensive blush, when it comes to overall product price, I would have to say is my Nars palette. But when you break it down to individual blushes, each blush in here is really not all that expensive. So when you're talking about most expensive single blush, that has to go to my Hourglass blush in Mood Exposure. For some reason, Swatch, that's it right there. Swatch doesn't really show up on the cheeks. This is just the perfect mauve color. It's a blush that I wear more in the winter time. You can still get away with using it in the springtime. And my least expensive blush is actually a Wet n Wild blush, and I depotted it because the packaging was just so awkward and chunky. But this is it right here. It's another Nars Orgasm dupe. Again, it's one of those colors that it's that peachy pinky color with a little bit of gold shimmer. And that's it right there. This blush was around $2, and I think I got it on sale with a $1 off coupon. So I think I paid I literally paid 5 cents for the blush. But even not on sale, the blush itself I think only cost $2 or $3. So that's it for all the questions on the blush tag. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I was a little nervous on making these types of videos. I'm a little self-conscious sometimes in front of the camera, but like I said, I really want to start incorporating more makeup into my channel. If you guys have any questions or comments or suggestions either on this video or for any future videos you guys want to see, please leave everything down below in the comments section, and I'll be sure to respond back as soon as possible. So thanks again for watching. Please like this video if you like these type of videos, and be sure to subscribe if you're new. Thank you.